Welcome to the museum. Subscribe before we open. Level 1. Thrall. Thralls were slaves. They had no freedom and no rights. Most were captured during raids or born into slavery. They did the hardest work on farms. They cut wood, hauled rocks, built fences, and cleaned animal pens. Thralls owned nothing. Their masters could sell them, beat them, or kill them without punishment. They slept in barns or sheds. Food was minimal. Escape was nearly impossible. Most thralls died young from overwork or injury. Level 2. Carl. Carls were free farmers. They owned small plots of land. Most grew barley and raised livestock. Their houses were single-room wooden buildings with dirt floors. Families shared space with animals during winter. Carls owned basic tools, cooking pots, and maybe one weapon. They worked constantly to avoid starvation. Bad harvests meant death. Carls had legal rights and could speak at assemblies. They paid taxes to local jarls. Their sons inherited the land. Level 3. Raider. Raiders were Carls or younger sons who went on seasonal raids. They left in spring and returned in fall. Most raids targeted monasteries and coastal villages. Raiders used axes, spears, and shields. Armor was rare. Successful raids brought silver, tools, and captives. Raiders split the loot evenly. Most returned to farming after each season. Death rates were high. Drowning and ambushes killed many. Survivors gained respect and wealth. Repeated success could lead to higher status. Level 4. Warrior, Huskarl. Huskarls were professional warriors. They served jarls or kings full-time. Their only job was fighting. Huskarls lived in their lord's hall. They received food, weapons, and a share of tribute. Most owned chainmail, helmets, and quality swords. They trained daily. Huskarls formed the core of any army. They fought in shield walls and ship battles. Their lord rewarded loyalty with land grants. Huskarls held high social status. Combat injuries and death were expected. Level 5. Ship leader/veteran. Ship leaders commanded raiding vessels. They owned their own ships or shared ownership. Each ship held 30 to 60 men. Leaders organized raids and decided targets. They kept a larger share of plunder. Successful leaders attracted more followers. Experience mattered more than birth. Veterans earned reputations through multiple campaigns. They advised jarls on military matters. Many retired with enough wealth to buy large farms. Ship leaders could rise to become jarls. Level 6. Jarl. Jarls were regional nobles. They controlled districts and collected taxes. Jarls owned multiple farms and dozens of thralls. They lived in great halls with private rooms. Jarls hosted feasts to display wealth and build alliances. They judged legal disputes and commanded local militias. Most jarls inherited their position. They pledged loyalty to kings in exchange for autonomy. Jarls wore fine clothing and expensive jewelry. Political rivals and succession disputes made their position dangerous. Level 7. King, Konungur. Kings ruled entire regions or kingdoms. They controlled multiple jarls. Kings led armies during major wars. They made treaties with foreign powers. Royal families claimed descent from gods. Kings distributed treasure to secure loyalty. They wore gold and owned the finest weapons. Most kings died violently in battles or assassinations. Succession was contested and bloody. A strong king unified the realm. A weak king faced rebellion. Viking society was a rigid hierarchy where birth, violence, and wealth determined everything.